This is from Vizony. This is the SQ6 projector. This is a native 1080p projector. It's got 500 ANSI lumens, so it's a pretty good option for nighttime viewing, outdoor movie nights, whether you have a dedicated theater room, but this is not going to break the budget, so this is an awesome option. I've reviewed a ton of projectors like this over the years. The company did sponsor this video so that I could bring this projector review to you. So as of right now, I always say, it's subject to change obviously, but there's a coupon that basically puts this at $100. So the nice thing is you get a cool carrying case, that's a fabric carrying case, and you get all the cables you're going to need with this. You got the power cable, they throw in an HDMI cable, so you really don't have to worry about any of that, which is really nice. Pretty much anything you ever want to hook up to this, you could just hook up by HDMI. Now you won't really need it if you're going to hook up like your own Roku player, or Amazon Fire Stick, something like that, but this does have 5G and 2.4G Wi-Fi networks supported. So if you want to hook up some other things to that, you can that way. I always typically recommend just hook up something like an external device. You're not going to run into any then copyright protections for like Netflix, Hulu, and those type of services. If you're ever streaming that kind of stuff, it gets blocked. So using that way, having it on another device, whether it's a stick or you're using the HDMI on here to hook up to say like a Roku player, your laptop, something like that, that's typically the easiest and path of least resistance. So this does have over here on the side multiple connection options. You've got 2 HDMI ports. So the nice thing with that is you might say, why would you need 2? You can hook up 2 different devices. You just don't have to worry about disconnecting them over and over again if you're switching out between maybe multiple devices. So if you have like a PlayStation or something you're going to hook up to this, you also have your laptop typically hooked up. You can just kind of have dedicated ports for each of those. This has 2 USB-A ports on here that are full-size USB. The one of them here is actually 5 volts out, so you can actually charge devices with that as well. If you need to give your cell phone a little charge, for example, you can use that port for that. So looking at the text on here in the picture quality, you can see that native 1080p really stands out because the text on here in these screen menus, if you're using closed caption, things like that, it looks pretty darn good. You can see it's nice and sharp. You're not gonna have any issues reading text. For media consumption, this does a really good job also. You can see the colors, it's relatively colorful. The native 1080p makes it look nice and sharp. You can play up to 4K on here. It's just gonna be downscaled then to that 1080p. That's gonna be your maximum resolution. So I put this video kind of slideshow together here so you could get a feel for what this is gonna look like for different types of programming. But overall, I thought this looked really good. You can see the colors on here look really nice, the brightness, the contrast. The contrast on my MacBook screen did look a little better in certain circumstances where there was like a lot of vibrant color and brightness going on. But for what this package offers, you get a pretty nice picture. Let me know in the comments there what you think about this picture quality. Now this has a zoom function on here where you can zoom from 75% to 100%. So if you actually need to decrease the size of that screen at all, you can. The way that you set this up is basically the further away you have it from the wall or your screen, the bigger the picture, the closer you move it to the wall or the screen, the smaller the picture is going to be. So they recommend a picture size of between 40 inches all the way up to 350 inches. And that correlates with 3.3 feet or all the way up to 29 feet away from the wall or your screen. So this does have manual keystone and focus correction on here. So the front one is your focus wheel, and then the back one here is your keystone correction. So that's 15 degrees vertical that you can do with that. Focus wheel does what it sounds like. You just scroll that back and forth to get a sharp picture, and then your keystone correction is going to help kind of tilt it on the wall. They give you this little peg that you can stick on the bottom here and thread in. If you're using that at all to kind of pitch upward because of where you're projecting this to, that will be corrected then by using that keystone correction. So this does have a built-in cooling fan. It's relatively quiet, and I honestly used the onboard speakers when I was testing this out, and I didn't really have any issues with it. I was able to listen to some shows on Hulu, watch a movie, things like that with just using the onboard speakers, and the fan didn't get really too loud. I also had my Roku sitting up on top of here, and I purposely did that to see kind of like how hot this would get if I was streaming some media with that, and honestly it didn't really get hot at all. I touched all around different parts of this. It did not get hot to the touch, so that cooling fan did a pretty good job. So this has dual built-in 10-watt speakers, and like I said, they sound pretty good. You can always upgrade the sound quality by hooking up either by Bluetooth or by using this audio line out right here to a speaker. You can always get better sound quality, typically maybe a little bit louder doing that. But like I said, I tested this, I used this with just those onboard speakers, and I thought they're pretty good. I think if you want to use this indoor setting where it's not too loud, you're not really competing with a lot of extra noise, these onboard speakers definitely suffice. But you could always hook up them by Bluetooth. There's an easy setting right in the menu where you can go in, put your Bluetooth speaker in pairing mode, and you'll find it in there. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag when you're using Bluetooth. So otherwise, an aux cable directly lined in to this 3.5mm audio jack is going to do a great job. In your kit, you're actually going to get a little dust cleaning kit. So on the bottom of these, when you remove the labels that are here, that's going to allow you access to the inside. So if you do end up having any spots on anything here, the nice thing is a lot of these companies are now sending those little cleaning kits. So it's kind of a DIY option. If you do get some spots that appear on your screen, you can use those cotton swabs to get in there and clean that out yourself. So this is a great way to get into a native 1080p projector option. You've got multiple inputs on here, HDMI, you've got the built-in speakers, it's 500 ANSI lumens, so it's going to look pretty good in dark environments. So for all those reasons, this is a pretty solid option. So I recently reviewed another one of the projectors from this company. It was the RD830 model. That is another native 1080p option. However, it's brighter by 300 ANSI lumens. It's 800 compared to this one of 500. And that one also had electronic focus and keystone correction, whereas this one has the manual wheels. So typically that helps you avoid any blurriness around the edges and things like that. But honestly, with this SQ6 projector, I didn't really notice a whole lot of aberrations around the edges. So you'll see that RD830 review popping up here at the end. If you want to purchase this projector or that one, I'll put the links down there in the comments and description. Please like the video if you found it helpful. If you like projectors and home theater content like this, please subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.